Royal jewels vanished at auction, they resurfaced on royalty. They were sold, broken up, written off as gone forever. Then they reappeared on the necks of Hollywood stars, on the heads of future queens, in the private collections of royal families who were never supposed to have them. A tiara vanishes from one royal house and crowns a bride in another country decades later. A brooch disappears into a private sale and turns up on a red carpet on a celebrity who has no idea whose hands it once passed through. A mystery buyer bids anonymously at auction and is later revealed to be a princess hiding in plain sight. This isn't folklore. This isn't a rumour. These jewels are real. Their disappearances were real, and their reappearances, years, sometimes decades later, are stranger than anything you'd expect. Tonight we're tracing the hidden journeys of royal jewels that were never supposed to leave the family, and exposing exactly how they ended up somewhere else entirely. The anonymous bidders who turned out to be royalty. The Aga Khan Emerald Brooch. When this legendary emerald disappeared into the auction room, many believed the world had seen it for the last time. Royal jewels sold at auction often vanish into private vaults, never to be seen again. Their stories simply end with the fall of the hammer. But not this one. Commissioned by Prince Sadruddin Aga Khan at Cartier Paris in 1960, the spectacular brooch centres on a magnificent 37-carat square-cut Colombian emerald, framed by 20 marquise-cut diamonds in platinum and 18-carat yellow gold. It was created as an extraordinary gift for his wife, the glamorous British model and socialite Nina Dyer, who wore it to many of the era's most prestigious events. Following Nina Dyer's death, the brooch was offered by Van Cleef Arpels at auction in 1969. Then, it vanished. For the next 55 years, collectors, historians, and royal jewellery enthusiasts had no idea where it had gone, and many assumed it had been locked away forever in a private collection. Then came an astonishing twist. In November 2024, the brooch resurfaced at Christie's, where it achieved an incredible $8.8 million, well above its $6 to $8 million estimate, and set a new world record for the most expensive emerald ever sold at auction. The identity of the winning bidder remained a closely guarded secret. For months, the jewellery world was left wondering who had bought one of history's greatest emerald brooches. The answer finally arrived in May 2025. To the amazement of royal watchers, Princess Lalla Hasna of Morocco appeared in Baku, Azerbaijan, wearing the very same Cartier masterpiece. The historic 37-carat emerald was pinned to a richly embroidered custom jacket by Moroccan designer Fadila El Ghadi, confirming that the brooch had entered yet another royal collection. Its appearance stunned the jewellery world. A royal jewel that many believed had been lost forever had quietly found a dazzling new home on the chest of another royal. Queen Margherita's sapphire and diamond floral tiara. Auctioned off by King Umberto II at Christie's in London in March 1967, and many royal watchers assumed the worst, that the tiara had been broken up entirely, its stones scattered into other pieces, never to be seen intact again. But to everyone's surprise, Queen Margherita's sapphire and diamond floral tiara, a historic Italian royal heirloom, returned to the public eye in June 2026, after being presumed lost for nearly 60 years. Its owner turns out to be a close friend of Queen Maxima. The magnificent sapphire and diamond floral tiara dates to around 1850, from the marriage of Princess Elizabeth of Saxony to Prince Ferdinand, Duke of Genoa. The tiara is versatile enough to be broken down into 7 separate brooches. The Duchess of Genoa eventually passed the tiara to her only daughter, Queen Margherita of Italy. It stayed a House of Savoy heirloom for decades, until one of Margarita's grandchildren auctioned it at Christie's, at a price close to what the Poltimore Tiara fetched when Princess Margaret bought it around the same period in the 1960s. Royal jewellery auction boom, roughly £5,500. Given how rare surviving Savoy sapphires are, experts believe the 1967 sale price was in a similar range, though the piece would be worth millions today. Back in 1967, it was acquired by the Oetker family, the prominent German business dynasty behind Dr. Oetker and other major brands. Though their identity as the buyer was kept quiet at the time. That changed when Dutch royal correspondent Rick Evers identified Elvira's tiara as Queen Margherita's long-lost sapphire and diamond floral tiara, worn by Elvira Oetker, ne Donna Elvira Grimaldi di Nixima, of the Genoese Grimaldi di Nixima family, to the German state banquet at the Royal Palace of Amsterdam. Dutch jewellery historian Martijn Ackerman called the tiara's reappearance a very special discovery, pointing out that while plenty of royal jewels have changed hands or been sold off over the decades, it's unusual for one thought lost for over 50 years to resurface completely intact. The Duchess of Windsor's diamond feather brooch. The next royal jewel didn't simply disappear after auction, it slipped out of royal hands in the most unexpected way. During the historic Duchess of Windsor auction in Geneva in 1987, collectors from around the world gathered to compete for one of the most extraordinary royal jewellery collections ever offered for sale. Among the treasures was a breathtaking diamond feather brooch commissioned in 1935 by the future King Edward VIII for Wallis Simpson. Crafted by Van Cleef and Arpels in platinum and 18-karat gold, the design features 3 pavot-set diamond ostrich feathers gathered beneath a diamond-set crown, a deeply personal symbol of their legendary love story. Wallis wore the brooch on numerous occasions, and it appeared in several of her most famous portraits. As bidding intensified, an anonymous wealthy bidder joined the auction by telephone. No one knew who was on the other end of the line. Even more remarkably, royal watchers had no idea that members of the British royal family were also trying to secure the jewel. It was later revealed that Prince Charles, now King Charles III, had reportedly hoped to purchase the brooch as a gift for Princess Diana. But when the hammer finally fell, the brooch was no longer destined to remain in royal hands. The mystery bidder was revealed to be none other than Elizabeth Taylor. Rather than attending the auction in Geneva, the Hollywood legend was relaxing beside her swimming pool at her Bel Air home, bidding through a live satellite phone connection while quietly outmaneuvering everyone in the room, including the future king. Taylor paid an astonishing $449,625 for the brooch. She later admitted she had wanted the jewel from the very moment she first laid eyes on it. Ironically, despite fighting so hard to own it, Elizabeth Taylor was photographed wearing the brooch only twice. One of the Duchess of Windsor's most iconic jewels had left the royal world forever, not for another queen or princess, but for one of Hollywood's greatest legends. Brabant Festoon Tiara. In 2019, the King and Queen of a royal house quietly purchased an antique 18th century diamond tiara at auction for their heiress. The tiara, embedded with history and royalty, was an exceptional choice. Yet after its sale, royal watchers had no idea where the magnificent jewel had gone. The antique diamond tiara originally belonged to the British peerage Vestey family. It made its first major historical appearance on Evelyn Brodston, the first Lady Vestey, who wore it to a royal court presentation before King George V and Queen Mary in 1925. Its history may go back even further. The design is almost identical to a Fabergé pearl and diamond tiara of Tsarina Alexandra Feodorovna, which was discovered by Tobolsk in 1933. Because of the striking similarities, several theories have emerged. The Vestey tiara is either a contemporary twin made by the same jeweller, a high-end replica commissioned by the Vesteys, or a Romanov piece smuggled out via an entirely different route prior to 1925. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, renowned jewellery houses such as Fabergé, Cartier and Boucheron often created sister pieces of successful designs for Europe's wealthiest families. It is highly probable that Fabergé created 2 identical festoon tiaras. The Vestey barony itself was created in 1922. Around the same time, in 1922 and 1923, the Soviet government quietly began selling vast quantities of Romanov jewels to Western buyers. If the Vestey tiara is indeed Romanov in origin, it most likely entered Britain through those early Soviet sales rather than the later Tobolsk discoveries. The tiara remained tucked away in the Vestey family vault for nearly a century. It was last seen publicly in 1997 when the Honourable Saffron Vestey wore it on her wedding day, temporarily replacing the diamond peaks with round pearls, and then silence. Following the death of Lord Vestey, the family quietly liquidated the tiara alongside other heirlooms to help meet substantial inheritance tax obligations. So who bought it? And in which country has this historic jewel resurfaced? To ensure his daughter had an independent royal heirloom of her own, King Philippe and Queen Mathilde quietly purchased the tiara from a private dealer or auction house in late 2018 or 2019. The Belgian royal palace kept the acquisition completely secret for nearly 3 years. Then, in June 2022, the mystery was finally solved. A 20-year-old Princess Elizabeth stepped into the spotlight wearing the magnificent tiara at the glittering 18th birthday celebrations of Princess Ingrid Alexandra of Norway. Its appearance caused an immediate frenzy among royal jewellery experts, who quickly began tracing its remarkable history before identifying it as the long-lost Vesti heirloom. A tiara that had quietly vanished from Britain's aristocracy had found a dazzling new home on the head of Belgium's future queen. Poltimore Tiara. When one of Britain's greatest aristocratic tiaras appeared at auction in 1959, no one imagined it was about to become one of the most famous royal wedding tiaras in history. The magnificent Poltimore Tiara had belonged to the distinguished Poltimore family for nearly 90 years. Created by Garrard in 1870 for Florence, Lady Poltimore, the breathtaking diamond jewel was designed to be remarkably versatile, transforming into a necklace and several brooches. It remained in the family through 3 generations before financial pressures after the Second World War forced George Bampfeld, the 4th Baron Poltimore, to part with the treasured heirloom. In January 1959, the tiara arrived at Christie's. Collectors expected it to disappear into another aristocratic collection. Instead, a mysterious bidder secured it for just £5,500. No one inside the auction room, or following the sale through the newspapers, knew who had bought the magnificent Victorian masterpiece. The buyer's identity had been carefully protected. Behind the scenes, Princess Margaret's close friend, Lord Plunket, Deputy Master of the Household, had spotted the tiara and immediately recognised its extraordinary quality. Knowing a royal princess could never openly bid at a public auction without creating a media sensation and sending the price soaring, he quietly arranged for the purchase through an intermediary, keeping Margaret's identity a closely guarded secret. For months, the tiara simply vanished. The jewellery world had no idea where it had gone. Then, later that year, the mystery was solved. Princess Margaret stepped out wearing the tiara's detachable pieces as a necklace and brooch during an Iranian state visit, and again during her visit to Portugal. Royal watchers quickly realised the missing Poltimore tiara had found a new owner. By the time her engagement to Anthony Armstrong-Jones was announced in 1960, there was no longer any doubt. The very tiara that had quietly disappeared at auction months earlier had become the jewel of a British princess. Soon afterward, millions watched as Princess Margaret walked down the aisle wearing the once-forgotten aristocratic tiara for her royal wedding. That is all for tonight. Let us know which one surprised you the most. But before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for part 2, where we'll uncover even more royal jewels that vanished from history and reappeared in the most unexpected places.